The high school sports beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, an astonishing 99% are working or furthering their studies. At Alfred State, they stress project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Visit alfredstate.edu.
Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The high school sports beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We begin our look at Section 5 sports this week with our opening story, brought to you by Sticky Lips Barbecue and Juke Joint. Sticky Lips Barbecue Juke Joint, New York State's largest barbecue restaurant right here in Rochester. See our menu and live music calendar at StickyLipsBBQ.com. Sticky Lips BBQ, Jefferson Road in Henrietta. We start this week with a look at the return to Rochester of Mr. Basketball, Tyler Relph. It was a basketball skills camp at East High and a chance for Rochester's student athletes to learn from one of the best.
Behind goal, right? And I want to heavy when that hand goes.
For the second straight summer, a pair of former McQuaid basketball stars combined efforts to provide an afternoon of coaching for local student athletes. Players of all ages filled the gymnasium at East High School on a hot summer afternoon to take part in the Tyler Relph Anthony Iglesia for the City Clinic.
It's a testament to the community, I think. It's a testament to the people that are around these kids. I talked to Thomas, I talked to Isaiah. We're from the 585, so it's where we're from, and it's just cool, man. I think it's really fulfilling seeing like a guy like Thomas Bryant and meeting him in 7th grade and seeing where he came from and seeing what he's transpired into, and then Isaiah Stewart the same thing, and God willing he'll end up there next year, and it would be cool, man. It's first time in Rochester history, we'll have 2 guys in the NBA, and that just shows what this community is becoming.
It just shows how willing the city is, to come together and really work on their craft, get to know one another. You have people coming out from different areas, so just willing to be a part of that, just shows how much the city cares about the game of basketball.
Well, I think it just shows an eagerness to learn and the excitement that when we get an NBA skills trainer in here like Tyler Relph. So, I'm just really excited about all of this.
Relph, a 2-time AGR Player of the Year and New York State Mr. Basketball, currently lives in Dallas, where he trains elite athletes such as NBA players Julius Randle and Frank Tilakina.
Tyler's been all over the place, has worked with everybody. For him to come back to the city and put together the free clinic like this just shows the character and type of person that he is. So me being a part of that just really is a humbling experience for me. I'm just using this opportunity to learn from others and kind of soak in what he says.
It's a great opportunity. You get to learn from him, his moves and everything that he's done. Just a good opportunity.
It's an amazing opportunity. At this camp, we learn not only basketball values and fundamentals, but also values in life.
It's very important to me because, knowing Tyler, I follow him on Instagram, all the social medias. I see the work he put in. I see the stuff he do, and I'm at home trying to do what he do from the backyard. So it's an honor to be in the same gym as him, to work with him. It's just an honor. I'm blessed. It's very humbling to work with a player. That coached so many good players, like NBA players, D1 players, and it's very it's a good experience.
Oh man, it's tremendous. Tyler's a great guy. He's a McQuaid alum, just like my son Ant. He's been a mentor to Anthony, and he just called us up, said let's do something free for these kids because these kids can't afford to go to camps or clinics and stuff. So, to have somebody like that is a blessing.
Returning to Rochester is a chance for Tyler Relph to give back to his hometown.
This is the only place I do free clinics, and I do it because it's the one place that gave to me, and the one place that helped me, and this place means a lot to me. And I can't always come back here just because of my job, and I gotta I got a son and I got, things I got to do. But when I get back here, I try to give back to the community that gave to me, and it really means a lot. I think the reason I wanted to do it in the city is because that's what it's for. I want to do it for the kids that don't have this opportunity, and I know where that is. I mean, I grew up here. I played in this gym, and I know a lot of my teammates with the AAU stuff grew up in less fortunate situations, and for me, it's giving back to the people that those guys gave to me a lot. They taught me a lot, street smarts and different things. The Brian Jacksons, the Melvin Councils, the James Reeves taught me a lot about the game and kind of molded me into kind of who I was as a player and my competitiveness when I used to show up in gyms like this. When I was coming up through here, it was like, there was talent. You knew there was talent, but there was no direction. The basketball community here deserves all the credit, and when I can come back here and do something like this, or maybe see the next Thomas Bryant or Isaiah Stewart, and then kind of keep in contact with them and help with the things off the court, not on the court.
How will this 2 hours of work with one of the nation's top trainers transfer to the court next season?
It's definitely going to transfer a lot. Like I said, he taught us a lot of values and morals and different fundamental skills and stuff and things I can incorporate into my game. Like a simple side step, that's going to change a lot, honestly.
Picked up that the work ethic, after you do the move, get back in line to do again. He said, you want to go as fast as you can, get as many reps as you can get in. It's gonna help you. It's gonna better you in the long run, and that's what we're doing.
It's important to give kids, some resources. Like kids in the suburbs, they have this kind of stuff. They have activities every day, and a lot of kids in the city, they just can't get out to places, or the activities are lacking, and certainly don't get a player of Tyler's caliber. So this means a lot to me, it really does.
There's a special joy that comes with, being in front of kids that may not get this opportunity all the time, or if one or two kids can take something from this and it can change their life, then that's worth it. So I think this is more fulfilling in that sense, for sure.
From East High School, this is the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College.
Coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the Dunkin High School Notebook. We've got that and more when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
This cinnamon sugar pumpkin latte looks amazing.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I wish I were this creative.
Oh, I'm not that creative.
Oh, wow. Did you just carve this?
I did, yeah.
Try our new signature latte. It's all things pumpkin at Dunkin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. It is time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin. America runs on Dunkin, and we are joined this week once again by Matt Trabold, who is all over the place in Monroe County, and we have plenty to talk about. We're going to start off with some girls soccer.
Sounds good to me.
So, Matt, it looks like the more things change, the more they say the same. We talk powers in girls soccer, and we're talking the Pittsford schools, Sutherland and Mendon. Talk about their programs, talk about their teams, and talk about the season ahead for them.
Like you just said, those are two of the teams most synonymous when it comes to this sport and a lot of other sports, but just around Section 5 as a whole. And at the 3-week mark of the season, Sutherland, as one of those teams, is undefeated and atop the Class A standings, which are very packed. It's even more impressive because Grace Allen, one of the top returning players in the state, has not been able to be active right now for the games for those teams, or for the Knights, I should say. And then you mix in the fact that they started off with such a bang in the season opener. Pretty rare, I think, a rivalry game. Mendon-Sutherland happening so early on, but 0-0 late. Laura Bennett gets the goal, 1-0, and it really has kind of helped them grow right off the bat through the season so far. And I mentioned the Vikings as well from Mendon, and they are not quite as high in those pack standings in Class A, but they're not far behind the Sutherland Knights. And their striker, Grace O'Hara, usually one of the smaller players on the field for their games, but she makes up for it in aggressiveness and she finishes with footwork.
What about some of the other teams to watch? I know on the west side there's one other team that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, Athena. And right now the record is not very good, but I think they are maybe going to have a climb as the season progresses here, because early on they're trying to figure out how to play without 2 stars that graduated after last season. Both D1 girls, one went to Austin P, one went to Notre Dame. So right now Jade Talone and company, I think, putting together the pieces. They recently had a big comeback late. They came up a little bit short at Mendon. A very good team in Class A, so that is certainly promising. You throw in, I think, somebody to watch, 8th grader Rihanna Hudson, her older sister I mentioned a second ago, went to Notre Dame. Wanaya Hudson, she is starting for the Irish as a freshman, very impressive. And against Arcadia recently, the 8th grader had a hat trick. So the pieces are there. Once they get together, the new names, we'll see.
How about on the boys' sides of things?
I think Spencerport, maybe not a super surprise because last year they went pretty far in sectionals, but they just seem like a whole different monster this year. And right off the bat against Mighty Athena on the boys' side, they had season opening loss, only 1-0 to a very good team there. But since then, they had 4 rattled off wins and a combined score in those 4 wins of 20-1, so obviously good offense, good defense. Maybe the best back line in Section 5 right now, and that includes a new starter in junior Patrick Ubelacker, the sweeper. He is poised, he is precise, he is powerful, and behind him, one of the more notable, accomplished goalies in town in Jaden Schlurf. So I really look at Spencerport as a team that I think can just take that extra level of dominance.
All right, great stuff, Matt. Thank you so much for joining us. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later, a program 2 decades in the making looks to stay on top in Irondequoit. We'll have that story when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. Hit the ground running at alfredstate.edu. I'm Kyle O'Gara. Wegmans is a proud supporter of Making the Grade, which highlights the accomplishments of Section 5 student athletes on and off the playing field.
Making the Grade this week is Bishop Kearney senior Michelle Rosati. Michelle is a decorated volleyball, softball, and track runner for the Lady Kings. Michelle has been on the Bishop Kearney volleyball team since she was in 7th grade and has racked up an impressive amount of titles since then. She's a 2-time volleyball sectional champion with multiple all-state team picks and is a state champion in softball. She is a member of the National Honor Society, is a student body leader, and maintains a 3.6 GPA in the classroom. Michelle has committed to play Division III volleyball at the College at Brockport starting next year. Well, this week, Michelle Rosati is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's Dave with the McArdle Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdles in Fairport. Come home to McArdles. Former Pittsburgh Panther Joshua Mack is playing for Liberty after 2 seasons at Maine, and Mack stood out in the Flames' 35-17 win over UB, running 9 times for 59 yards. Bryce Yockel of Calamon Byron Burgeon exploded for 250 yards and 6 TDs in the Raiders' 47-14 win over Wellsville. Yockel, a senior, did his damage while playing only in the first 3 quarters. Former Brighton track star Paul Dellinger finished 3rd at the Cavalier Classic in Airleysville, Virginia. Delling, a junior at Duke, also won the 2nd annual Plate Smile at Frontier Field this summer. And finally, Penfield's Luke Palladino tied a Marist program record when he hit a 49-yard field goal for the Red Foxes in their 26-23 win over Stetson. Coming up next, girls volleyball in Irondequoit looks to go to states with an assist from Emma Sheehan. Well, that story when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
And now to Eichel. He floated one.
Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. The girls volleyball team at Irondequoit is led by a trio of all Greater Rochester athletes and a coach who has built a program into one of the best in Section 5. As the Eagles look to defend their sectional title, larger goals remain on the horizon, like a state title.
All right, guys, come on over.
When Irondequoit's Emma Sheehan recorded her 2,000th career assist in the season opener against Churchville, she became the first player in program history to hit that milestone. A 5-year starter for the two-time defending sectional champs, she isn't one to get caught up in the personal accomplishments. She is focused on doing whatever it takes to make the Eagles as successful as they can be.
It's really great, and it's just a lot of fun as well, like just being part of this team. We have really great chemistry. Everyone just works together so well, and I don't know, it's just fun coming back every year. I look forward to it. After volleyball season's over, I'm like, how many days till the next volleyball season? I want to get back at it, so.
Her coach has been able to witness her development throughout her career and says she has the perfect combination of brains and ability.
She's, if not the smartest, one of the smartest players I've ever had out on the court. Fortunately for me, she's been starting for 5 years, and I've seen her grow. She was a setter, but she's such a complete player that over the last couple years, we've decided to use her in serve, receive, let her swing a little offensively. And honestly, she's one of those kids, she can do it all on the volleyball court.
And while he's been able to see her growth in high school, the foundation for her success was laid a long time ago.
I think it's her ability to read plays out there. You watch her play, she sees things that other players don't, and I attribute that to her mom was a volleyball player and got her started very young, so she's been on a volleyball court pretty much her whole life. And it's just amazing to watch her because she sees things that other players just don't.
This year's squad has a core of veterans who have been together for a long time. When you can send out 3 all-Greater Rochester performers, you know that things are in pretty good hands. But it takes more than just the skills to get the job done. You need to have the intangibles as well.
It's so important because we want good team chemistry, so that shows on the court too, not just in practice. It shows in games when we bring it together instead of getting into our heads and getting mad at each other more than coming together and saying, okay, we got this, and getting focused.
We work well together, so one of us has a great hit, we're cheering with them, encouraging them. But when someone shanks a pass, we're right there picking back up. So that's really important with the volleyball team to be able to do that.
That chemistry was tested early on when they fell to Hilton. Disappointing for sure, but it also served as a wake-up call.
Yeah, we just have to come on the court and we have to not expect that we're going to win because clearly we are beatable. So we just have to always bring our A game and make sure that we're just ready to play.
Yeah, when we lost out and I sat down and talked to the team about we need to focus more and we can't just go out thinking that we're going to win every game, but we just have to keep our mindset into the game instead of after the game.
We're in the gym the next day, ready to practice, ready to come back for that. And then this past week, Canandaigua, really 1 in 3 sets, we were ready, back at it. So we definitely have that pressure. All the teams are looking for us, they're ready to play us, they're ready. So I guess we just have to bring that same energy back to them and be ready to play them as well. Some of us going into the season, we were like, oh, we're gonna go into the game and just win it. But I think it really definitely taught us that we're gonna have to work for every game, every ball, put that 100% in, just like every other team's doing when they're gonna play us. So
when I took over, I had no expectations. I was 22 years old. Basically walked into the job because the varsity coach ahead of me, I was a JV coach for a year and they had left. But it's been exciting. It's been rewarding to see how far we've come in those 24 years. When I first started, we were, 500 type team, and now we've had a lot of success winning the last 2 sectional titles. We won a state championship in 2008. But I've been blessed. I've been blessed to have great players that love the game, are passionate about the game, and they go that extra mile and they love to play club. So they're playing volleyball, 10, 11 months out of the year, and that makes my job easier.
Being a part of such a solid team is one thing. Being part of a program that is so successful is even better. And it doesn't look like there are any signs of it slowing down.
Now, the last 5-6 years, we've started a youth program with 3rd through 6th graders. And we keep ending up with 50, 60 kids that are interested, and we have this huge wait list, and I wish I could let them all play. And part of it is because of the tradition we have. Kids want to be involved in the sport, where they're going to be successful, and, that success breeds success.
It makes me feel pretty good, being compared to Mary Cushman and stuff. Of course it's an honor, and just for us 3 to be together and be able to do big things and take this team good places is just good.
since we were like little kids, everyone was like, oh, you guys are so young, like you guys are gonna be together forever. Since we're like seniors and older and stuff like that, it's built a lot of chemistry. So yeah, we've been together forever.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, especially Alfred State College, for making the Sports Beat possible. We'd also like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.